All right, so this morning we got hit with staggered news. We got 8:30 data, some 9 o'clock data, 9:30 opening bell, 10 a.m. data. Guys, on days like this, you have to be very, very aware if you are trading intraday of these data events, right? There's normally some form of reaction. 10 a.m. we had consumer confidence. That was, the big one. And not a massive reaction, but listen, at the end of the day, you don't want to be caught in that volatility. Unless you are an experienced, proficient, news release level volatility trader, which most traders are not, it's better to just sit on the sidelines, right? Give it a chance. Let the market do what it's going to do. I told my traders this morning, I'm like, listen, I would stay fairly focused on crude oil at least through the morning. Maybe later in the day we get some trending action. The indices were pretty tough, the NASDAQ, the S&P. Gold started selling off, so we focused on the commodities, right? We had, watched crude oil rally, so looked for opportunities there. And then, later in the morning we saw gold start to kind of trickle off, so we looked for opportunities there. We basically wait for a higher time frame to dictate whether a trend is intact or not, because listen, we want to trade with the momentum. If the ball is rolling, we want to roll with it. All right. Now, listen, we use other tactics for reversals and things of that nature, but for the most part, the lowest risk approach to the market is to simply trade with the direction it's traveling in. So we knew crude had a chance of going higher. We knew gold had a chance of going lower. Those were the two we stuck with, through the better part of the morning. And if this afternoon presents something different, then wonderful. We'll, see how that plays out. My traders have access to my screen all day long, right? They get to see all the different angles that I use to approach the market. It's there. They have a Zoom room link. They jump on. They get to use my book map and all that fun stuff. So if we're fighting the market this morning, the real message of this video is to just sit patient, right? I took a early crude trade, okay? Early, like 6:45, 7 o'clock, something like that. I was up having my coffee, getting set up for the day. I was just looking at the overnight action. I really liked what I saw. So I bought crude at the low of the session, or just about the low of the session. I was getting rejection there, and I bought it. And I was in and out of it fairly quickly. It did what I needed it to do for me. And then I just kind of sat back and waited. A couple other opportunities came along later in the morning. Took advantage of them, and then just let it be. I focus on this so often because even with traders that have been with me for a long time, their greatest struggle is just having this desire to trade more, where my greatest desire is to trade less, right? So I try to I try to instill that thought process on folks, especially folks who are struggling, that quality over quantity is the better recipe when it comes to trading, right? Absolutely have this amazing feeling when you place this trade, rather than having this instant feeling of regret and anxiety because you forced a trade. So just some food for thought. I'm going to keep this video pretty short. But this morning, again, a lot of data came out. It's just better to sit on the sidelines, sit on your hands, wait for that to flush out. And more often than not, guys, when the morning is choppy, later in the day, normally we get some action. At some point during the day, okay? At some point during the day across the four markets we trade, crude oil, gold, the NASDAQ, and the S&P, at some point during the day, we can almost always find at least one solid opportunity, right? It's a guarantee it's always going to work? Of course not, right? There's no false, false prophecies here. The fact of the matter is, if you're patient enough, you will find something that meets your criteria. So if you guys enjoyed this video, please like it, subscribe to the channel. God bless, and I'll see you in the next one.